Pages 30 through 32, chemical violations. If a student is in possession of an illegal substance, a mood-altering substance, controlled substances, or paraphernalia, or is under the influence of, uses, or consumes an illegal, controlled, or mood-altering substance in school or at school-sponsored events, that student will be found in violation of the Bloomington School District's Chemical Health Policy number 506. Paraphernalia includes, but is not limited to, zigzag papers, pipes, one-hitters, hookahs, electronic cigarettes, and dryer sheets, etc. We are continuing our policy of bringing canine drug detection dogs onto school property. Do not bring illegal drugs or paraphernalia to Jefferson. This is your notice. No further announcements will be given. Dogs will be at Jefferson often and at random times to assure that students are making good choices in this area. Principal Grebner's letter to students and parents was sent home earlier this summer and is printed on pages 31 and 32 of the student handbook. When evidence indicates that a student is in violation of the school district's chemical policy, the student's locker, vehicle, cell phone, backpack, bag and/or purse, and person may be searched, and the police and parents will be notified. If necessary, the student will be transported to the detox center and/or hospital when parents cannot be contacted. The purpose of the district's policies on chemicals is to maintain a safe and healthy environment for students and staff by prohibiting the use of alcohol, toxic substances, and controlled substances without a physician's prescription.
Page 32, tobacco use, possession. Our school district is committed to promoting a healthy lifestyle for its students. The district recognizes the use of tobacco is a health risk and therefore is an issue of concern for parents, law enforcement officials, and the public in general. Bloomington School District policy states that possession, smoking, chewing, use of tobacco and/or paraphernalia in any form by students is prohibited on school property, school buses, vans, and/or at school-sponsored events and shall be considered grounds for suspension, exclusion, or expulsion. Use of tobacco shall be interpreted as having tobacco, tobacco products, e-cigarettes, including liquid-bearing vials, nicotine-related products, including nicotine patches, pipes, etc., in your possession, lit or unlit. School property shall include all Bloomington Public School property, buses, bus stop areas, and the area bounded by France Avenue on the east, 102nd Street on the north, Heritage Hills Drive on the south, and Olson Middle and Elementary Schools on the west. School property also includes Bloomington Stadium. This policy also applies to all host venues when Jefferson is a participant in school-sponsored activities. Consequences for use, possession of tobacco on page 32 of the student handbook include police citations, stiff fines, and multiple-day suspensions from school.
Page 33, dress for students. State law requires for health reasons students must wear shoes. Clothing that is disruptive to the educational process or unsafe will result in student referral to the office. In order to maintain a healthy and focused learning environment, students are expected to dress modestly with shoulders, torso, skin, and undergarments covered. Tops that show cleavage are not appropriate. Pants that sag and show underwear are not appropriate. Students may be dismissed until they are appropriately attired. So please, adhere to the following rules, which also apply to all students. Chains. Chains that are heavier than a conventional watch chain will not be allowed. Face paint. Except for specific school spirit days, occasions, the wearing of face paint is not to be allowed. This also applies to masks. Headwear. For purposes of this policy, headwear includes, but is not limited to, baseball caps, hats, stocking caps, winter headband, hoods, and bandanas. Banned headwear may be confiscated and held until the end of the day. If problems persist, the article may be held for a longer period of time. This policy is usually relaxed during homecoming and spirit weeks. Inappropriate clothing. Clothing that displays inappropriate messages will not be allowed at Jefferson. Examples include references to alcohol, tobacco, drugs, violence, and harassment, sexual, racial, or religious. Accessories such as dog collars, studded spike collars, and or wristbands and studs on backpacks are not permitted. Outerwear. No outerwear of any type will be allowed during school hours. For purposes of this policy, outerwear includes, but is not limited to, garments designed for outdoor use such as insulated vests, leather jackets, overcoats, raincoats, ski jackets, and trench coats. Garments that are allowed include single-layer zipped up or pulled over tops such as sweatshirts, hooded sweatshirts, and polar fleece tops, nylon windbreakers, and windbreakers that are clearly part of an outfit. In addition, certain classrooms are quite cool during the winter. Students may wish to keep a sweater or sweatshirt in their backpack or locker in order to remain comfortable.
Page 34, fighting, physical abuse, assault. Any student that hits or punches another student will be suspended for a minimum of 5 days. A second such incident will result in a 5 to 10 day suspension. A third incident of this type will result in a recommendation to the school board for expulsion. Anytime students are involved in a fight, the police may charge them with disorderly conduct. Retaliation is not the same as self-defense. If you get hit and retaliate, you will also be suspended and possibly charged in court. Page 34, food and beverages. Beverages and food must be consumed in the cafeteria. At the discretion of faculty, staff, and their respective departments, beverages such as water, soda, and coffee are permitted in classroom settings, as well as other areas of the school. Beverages and food are not allowed in the auditorium, the media center, and the computer labs. At the discretion of the building administrators, the use of beverages may be prohibited in other areas of the school building. Glass beverage containers are prohibited throughout the building. You are responsible for your own spills, and the use of twist-top caps on the beverage containers is strongly encouraged. Pages 34 through 36, harassment. It is the belief of the staff at Jefferson High School that all individuals should be treated with dignity, respect, consideration, and tolerance. Students should be able to function in an environment that is free of any form of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Any form of harassment based on gender, sexual preference, religion, race, physical or mental disabilities, or national origin, and any form of violence based on or related to sex, gender, religion, race, or station in life. If you feel you have been harassed, you should report the incident to a teacher, counselor, or administrator.
Page 36, hazing. The purpose of our hazing policy is to maintain a safe learning environment for students and staff that is free from hazing. These types of activities are inconsistent with the educational goals of the school district and are prohibited at all times. Hazing means committing an act against a student or coercing a student into committing an act that creates a substantial risk of harm to a person in order for that person to be initiated into or affiliated with a student organization or for any other purpose. A student organization does not have to be an official school organization to fall within the terms of this definition. Examples of hazing include, but are not limited to, any type of physical brutality, any type of physical activity such as sleep deprivation, exposure to weather, confinement in a restricted area, calisthenics, or other activities that subject the student to unreasonable risk of harm. Any activity involved with the consumption of alcoholic beverages, drugs, tobacco, or any food, liquid, or substance that subjects the student to unreasonable risk of harm, and or any activity that intimidates or threatens the student with ostracism, mental stress, or discourages the student from attending school. Upon receipt of a complaint or a report of harassment or hazing, the school district will undertake an investigation, take immediate steps to protect the complainant, and impose disciplinary consequences to deter future violation. Disciplinary action will be taken with anyone who retaliates against any person who makes a good faith report of alleged harassment or hazing.
Page 37, insubordination. In short, you are expected to follow the direction of adult staff members. For example, if an adult asks you for your name, to remove a cap, or to go to the office, you must respond appropriately and immediately.
And we're not kidding!